So any one of you who think Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid to play up front, maybe you should put down the controller and turn off EAFC. What's going on, people? Welcome back to League M for another video. So for this video, I'm going to be shifting from Chelsea for a little bit. We're going to talk about the biggest topic in football this season, the biggest news. Kylian Mbappe has announced recently that he's going to be leaving PSG at the end of the season. And it's reported that Real Madrid is going to be the likely destination. And we're just going to look at PSG and talk about what is next for them. But before we get into that, I'm just going to touch on the Mbappe and Real Madrid situation. If this deal goes through, then Real Madrid signing Kylian Mbappe is definitely right up there with the signings of Ronaldo. You know, this is the kind of signing that is going to shake the world of football, because we know what a player Kylian Mbappe is. Definitely one of those signings that's going to cause a ripple effect, and you know, we're going to look back maybe after 10 years and just think what would have happened if he didn't go to Real Madrid, or if instead he went to a Man City, for example, or he still stayed at PSG. If you've seen Kylian Mbappe's come up, you've seen that he's grown into such an influential player for the team. He's the kind of player that takes the game by the scruff of the neck and just takes his team forward to victory by sheer force of will. You know, he's a certified match winner, and for him to be signed by Real Madrid, then that is something that is huge. That is a huge statement from them. They're showing that they're looking to actually now dominate the game for, you know, as long as it takes, as long as they're there, because we see the project that they have going on themselves. You know, with the young players that they have, what they're trying to build, it's going to be something to look forward to now going forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to fit in that team, because with the addition of Kylian Mbappe, they essentially have three left wingers now in Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Mbappe. And with the team shape that they have implemented, then that would mean, if they're going to continue with it, it means then one of Vinicius or Rodrigo is going to be demoted to the bench unless changes to the team shape and formation are made. The thing with Mbappe is also his position. He does not prefer to play up front as the number 9. He said it himself, you sooner see him dead than playing up top for any team. So any one of you who think Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid to play up front, maybe you should put down the controller and turn off EAFC, because him playing as an out-and-out striker is clearly not his preference. That's all I'm going to say regarding the matter. Now, looking at PSG, with Mbappe gone, now all eyes are going to be on PSG to see what they do next. And I, for one, think this is a great opportunity for PSG to actually start now to implement a new project and just try to build towards something. You know, a project with proper squad building and proper recruitment, working hand in hand with the coach to bring him the players that he needs to implement his vision and his system. And the one thing that they always had going for them was their academy. Their academy has produced a lot of gems over the years that just couldn't make it at PSG for some reason. I think that was mostly due to their model, because they were always buying big players, and these players that they have from the academy, only a few broke into the first team. The others have gone to seek first team football elsewhere and have since flourished. I'm talking about the likes of Kingsley Coman, Christopher Nkunku, Moussa Diaby, Adrien Rabiot, and there's the likes of Mike Maignan and Matteo Guendouzi. Now, when you look at the players I mentioned, you start to think now, wow, you know, these are actually the players that PSG have had in their setup, and they just didn't make the cut because of the current model that they were implementing, always buying players instead of promoting their own. Like, some would get promoted, but they just never got a look in. From all the players that I mentioned, it was actually Adrien Rabiot who has had the longest stint with the club, who actually went on to win trophies with the club. And perhaps, the time has come for that to change. Instead of buying big players, putting them on big wages, and essentially like just semi-retiring these players, they will say that everything they've been doing was for them to, build a team, a strong team that can win the Champions League. But from the players that they bought, some of them, the hunger is just not there. So instead, they can just acquire younger, hungrier players who are looking to make names for themselves and build their careers and actually achieve something with the club. The culture and the model, everything about the whole setup just needs to change. And I think they can do that because in the last couple of years, they've actually acquired some great young talent. The likes of Nunes, Manuel Ugarte, Vitinha, Lucas Beraldo, Lee Kang-in, Bradley Bacola, and Gonzalo Ramos. The notable names they have from the academy are Kylian Mbappe's little brother, Ethan Mbappe, whom I wish that he doesn't grow up to have the same main character syndrome that his older brother has. And then you have the likes of Warren Zaïre-Emery, who's been showing a lot of promise, and he's looking like he's ready to be in the setup. The performances in the Champions League are just, for a player who is only 17 years old, they have been very mature, very controlled. That is actually one to watch, especially for France. What a player they have for the future. And next season, they will have Xavi Simons back from loan at RB Leipzig. That's a player whom I think is ready to come back and be a key player for Paris Saint-Germain. So they do have a lot of young talent within the team. And then you couple that with, the experienced, seasoned individuals in the team. Granted, they are on big wages, but I still believe that they can do something for the club. They're not finished yet. The likes of Achraf Hakimi, Marquinhos, Fabian Ruiz, Nordi Mukiele, Milan Skriniar, Presnel Kimpembe, Marco Asensio, Ousmane Dembele, and Randal Kolo Muani, whom I think we cannot say he's a young player anymore. He's 25. Surely they can get something going. Surely. And as long as they have Luis Enrique at the helm, you can be assured that they will have a great manager under them. They will have great guidance, a master tactician as well. Everything achieved at Barca, that was not a fluke in my opinion. And I think given the right players and in the right setup, PSG can definitely achieve something. They just need everyone from top to bottom, upper management to the coaching staff to the players just needs to be on the same page, and you take it from there. PSG need to look at clubs like Real Madrid and Manchester City and just see how they do things, study them and implement some of their principles, because those two, in my opinion, are the most well-run clubs in the world right now. One thing you can be sure about though is that it will take some time. Starting projects like this, they always need a certain amount of time to get going and for you to actually start reaping the benefits. And in this era of football, you cannot really rely on immediate results, because it's not a lot of clubs even, or people who can do that in this day and age. Some of them can come in and, when they have the right tools, it'll just happen, at the right place at the right time. And right now, you cannot really count on that. But I believe if PSG do play their cards right, in a few years we'll be talking about them as one of Europe's elites. But that's the end of the video. I'd very much like to hear your thoughts about the whole PSG situation. How do you think PSG are going to navigate life without Kylian Mbappe? What do you believe Kylian Mbappe is going to achieve going forward? Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Keep it M.